Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in. Today, we will be covering OpenAI launching ads inside ChatGPT, Apple finally getting ready to ship a Gemini-powered Siri upgrade, and Samsung ramping up production of next-generation memory chips for Nvidia's AI processors. Let's get into it. OpenAI has officially started testing advertisements inside ChatGPT. This is a US-only rollout for now, and it applies to logged-in adult users on the free tier and the Go tier, which is their $8 a month plan. If you are on Plus, Pro, Business, Enterprise, or Education plans, you will not see any ads. The ads show up as clearly labeled sponsored placements that appear below ChatGPT's responses, so they are not woven into the actual answers the model gives you. OpenAI was pretty direct about this in their blog post, saying, quote, "Ads do not influence the answers ChatGPT gives you, and we keep your conversations private from advertisers," end quote. So the model's output stays the same whether or not an ad is attached to it. Now, how the ad targeting works is worth explaining. OpenAI is matching ads based on the general topic of your conversation and your prior interactions with ads, but they are not handing your raw chat content over to advertisers. They have also carved out exclusions for sensitive categories like health, mental health, and politics, and users under 18 will not see ads at all. If you are on the free tier and you really do not want to see ads, there is an opt-out option, but the trade-off is that you get fewer daily messages. So it is essentially a choice between seeing some sponsored content or accepting a usage cap. This move has been brewing for a while. Reports from late 2025 described internal discussions at OpenAI, sometimes referred to as code red conversations, around the competitive landscape and the massive infrastructure costs associated with running these models at scale. The ad-supported approach gives OpenAI a way to generate revenue from the hundreds of millions of free users without forcing everyone behind a paywall. Sarah Perez over at TechCrunch described it as, quote, "a shift in the company's revenue strategy," end quote. It will be interesting to see how users respond and whether this expands beyond the US in the coming months. Turning now to Apple, the company is preparing iOS 26.4, and this is a big one because it finally delivers the AI-powered Siri features that were first teased all the way back at WWDC 2024. That is nearly a 20-month delay, which Apple fans have definitely noticed. The update integrates Google's Gemini models to give Siri a much more conversational and context-aware experience. Think of it as Siri moving closer to the kind of back-and-forth interaction you get with a modern chatbot, where it can hold context across a conversation rather than treating every request as a standalone command. Mark Gurman at Bloomberg has reported that Apple plans to demo what he called a, quote, Gemini-powered Siri, behaving more like an AI chatbot, end quote. A developer beta is expected in late February, with a public beta following in March. The delays were reportedly caused by architecture and quality issues on Apple's side, which gives you a sense of how difficult it is to retrofit a legacy voice assistant with frontier AI capabilities. The fact that Apple is leaning on Google's Gemini models rather than building everything in-house also says a lot about where Apple currently stands in the foundation model race. Their broader Apple Intelligence initiative is still expected to roll out in stages through 2026 and into 2027, but this iOS 26.4 update is really the first tangible step users will get to experience. For the millions of people who use Siri every day, this should be a genuinely noticeable upgrade in how the assistant understands and responds to requests. Now let's talk about the hardware side of things. Samsung is moving toward mass production of HBM4 memory, which stands for High Bandwidth Memory Generation 4. If you are not familiar with HBM, think of it as a specialized type of memory that sits very close to the processor inside AI chips, allowing data to move back and forth at extremely high speeds. This is critical for AI workloads because training and running large models requires moving enormous amounts of data very quickly, and traditional memory just cannot keep up. HBM4 is the next step up in that technology. Samsung's production push is targeted at Nvidia's upcoming AI processors, including what is being called the Rubin class platform. The news gave Samsung's stock a boost and put some pressure on competitors like Micron. Right now, Samsung, SK hynix, and Micron are all competing for Nvidia supply contracts, and the race is tight. TrendForce, a well-known industry research firm, noted that Nvidia has raised HBM4 specifications above 11 gigabits per second per pin, which is a high bar that makes the qualification process more demanding for memory makers. TrendForce also said that Samsung is, quote, most likely to qualify first due to their advanced process adoption, end quote. Mass production across the various suppliers is expected between late first quarter and early second quarter of 2026. This matters because memory supply is one of the real bottlenecks in getting next-generation AI GPUs out the door and into data centers. The availability and pricing of these chips directly affects how quickly companies can scale up their AI infrastructure. So Samsung hitting production milestones on schedule is a positive signal for the broader ecosystem. Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.